For those people who personally know me, I used to be a science and biology teacher, but due to health reasons, I had to step down from that. And so now, being on disability and retirement, we decided to take on the homesteading life. So as homesteaders, you have to do certain chores by yourself. Money is tight, and so you can't just go and hire almost anybody to do specific jobs. So as a former science biology teacher, I could teach you a few things about PCR or mRNA gene therapies, but that's not what I do anymore. But I'm no contractor and I'm no builder, I'm no woodworker. I really didn't have any of these things as a hobby, so I'm not really going to show you any building projects. I will show you some of the things that I'm working on. I will show you some end results, and of course some people may criticize the methods that we take or used, but that's okay with me. I do what I have to do just to make do with what we have. So this spring we discovered once again that the government had taken way too many taxes out of my pension, and so I was able to get a refund of a portion of taxes that we didn't have to pay. So right away I bought this pile of wood for my planter boxes, and you can see I have some posts and I've got some 10 feet long 2x8s. So these are going to be the planter boxes that I'm going to be building and hopefully going to be using this year. So you see I've already started because spring arrived last week, yet this winter weather with all the snow and all the frost and ice and cold just doesn't seem to want to leave us. So since I can't wait, my patience for spring is not that great, I've decided to get started. So here you can see I've got one planter box, and then over here I've got cut and prepared ready a second planter box. So I'll show you to the area where we were this winter for your winter garden tour, and I'll show you what I have in that location at the moment. Oh, on another note, just a few days ago I made this 4x8 planter box, which is sitting close by the house. This planter box in particular is going to be used for herbs and spices. So we hope to get some dill, we hope to get some parsley, some sage, and basil, maybe some lavender. And so we're gonna use these spices, and of course we put it close to the house so that when you're cooking you can pick your spices fresh and add them to the meal when you need to. So the ladies in question that are going to be using the planter boxes decided that they only wanted 2 planks high, even though my posts are ready for a 3rd level. So we'll start them off with 2 planks, and if they decide later on that they still want a 3rd layer on top, making it a little higher, easier to get at, then I can always add it at that time. So let's move to the back and see our garden from the winter garden tour. Here we are back in our long garden from the winter garden tour, and you can see already right now that I've brought materials for 2 planter boxes. So in my preparations I've prepared materials now for 4 planter boxes. 2 are still sitting by the tin can, and then 2 I already brought out here. And of course you can imagine assembling a planter box pretty well in the location where it's going to go is a lot easier than to make a planter box nicely in the warm barn or warmer barn and then slugging that heavy planter box with multiple people down here. So this is something that I was able to do today. So we're going to continue and we'll show you the result later on. It is the next morning. Yesterday we had some activities in the afternoon. So again we are blessed with a beautiful sunny day. Although it's a chilly -19 to start today. But I've been working again for a good hour to an hour and a half already, preparing the materials for 2 more planter boxes. So the total of planter boxes we have basically laid out here, ready to be assembled, is now 6. So I think now would be a good time to assemble these and get them ready. So I won't show you the process of the assembly itself. Like I said, I'm not a contractor, I'm not a woodworker. I have no real expertise in this. I just muddle along, try to do the best I can, and based on past experience I can make a pretty decent planter box that will stay up for a few years. Now you may have noticed that the materials we chose is the untreated number 2 spruce planks, the 2x8 by 10 feet long that we're using to make the 10x5 planter boxes here. Those are untreated spruce. Now spruce of course will rot and will decay fast, but looking at the cost of using cedar, which is the only untreated wood available here, like some areas they sell white oak, which is also not treated. But untreated wood, the only thing you really can get is just the basic studs, 2x6, 2x8, 2x4, number 2 spruce. And since the cost of cedar was extremely high, I think some of the planks that were quoted to me were $30 and $35 a board, and I need 6 boards just in one planter box. That was just getting way out of hand. So we decided to go with the cheaper version, and again, it will last for a few years, and well, who knows, if we're still alive at that time, we'll maybe rebuild them or build other ones. Time will tell. But for now, we're using this, and I'll get to work now in assembling these boxes. And voila! There's box number 1. So one of the things that I do pay attention to is the quality of the boards. Some boards are a lot better than others. So I always look for the planks that are the best to be placed on the bottom, because they're facing, of course, the most wear and tear from being in contact with the soil. And then the planks that are in worst condition, I try to keep on top. Of course, like I said, with the smaller box that I built earlier, the ladies want 2 layers for now, and maybe in due time we'll have an extra layer, but for now the top layer is the top layer. And so these boards, you can see that here, some boards are a bit damaged, right? They look a little bit rougher, so I keep those on the, of course, on the top. Then the second thing that I do is also related to the quality of the boards. This damage, I keep it on the outside. So if you can see the boards over here, you can see they're nice and smooth on the inside, so they're undamaged as much as possible on the inside. And again, because the soil that we're going to be putting inside this box will be sitting against that wood, and so I don't want soil to end up in cracks like this, and then moisture comes in, and then of course the rotting process starts a lot quicker. So that's box number 1. So I'll show you more as I continue to finish them. So there's number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And voila, number 2. So 1 and 2 all completed. And 3. And that makes 4. Day 4 of our planter boxes. Today's not as great as it has been for the last couple of days. There's clouds already moving in for a weather system that is maybe giving us 5, maybe up to 10 centimeters of snow by tomorrow, which is Good Friday, which is unfortunate because we would like to go to church in the afternoon and be there for the 3 p.m. service. But we'll see what happens. Apparently we're going to have high winds, and can definitely already notice it right now. There's a neighbor zooming by. So yeah, we're going to try to at least assemble these 2 boxes to make 6, and then we'll see what we have energy left for, as well as what the weather conditions are going to do. So let's get back to work on day 4. And 5. And that was 6. So we're halfway done. 6 out of 12 boxes are now assembled and pretty well in position. We may change the rearrangement, but the way we're trying to set it up is that we have access with our tractor to each of the boxes. So when we have to load fresh compost manure from the pile, we can bring it here by tractor, and that will save a lot of physical handwork to maintain and keep these boxes up to date. In our next video, we'll show you the second half of these planter boxes construction. I think we'll call it quits for today. It's getting colder and colder on my hands. So I thank you for watching. If you like our content, if you appreciate seeing these things on the internet, then we'd appreciate your like, and of course subscribe. But most of all, we appreciate you watching. So thank you, and until our next video.